A number of the Premier League's top clubs invested heavily in new strikers this summer, but which one has performed best in the opening months of the season? Arsenal landed Viktor Gyokeres for £63.5 million, and the Swedish striker has already got off the mark for Mikel Arteta's side, netting 3 goals in his first 7 Premier League appearances. The Gunners had been close to signing Benjamin Sesko, with the Slovenian eventually joining Manchester United for £74 million. He too has opened his account for his new club, scoring twice in the first 7 matches. The biggest striker signing of the summer was undoubtedly Alexander Isak's move to Liverpool for a British record £125 million fee. However, after a disrupted pre-season, the Swedish international is still returning to fitness and has recorded just an assist in his first 3 league games for Arne Slot's side. Liverpool also recruited Hugo Ekitike in a £79 million deal, and he has been leading the line more frequently whilst Isak gets up to full fitness. The Frenchman has 3 goals and 1 assist in the opening weeks of the season. After losing Isak, Newcastle also missed out on Ekitike and Sesko before eventually signing Woltemade for £69 million. The German has scored 3 times in his first 4 Premier League matches. Chelsea have also recruited in the striker department, with Joao Pedro joining for £60 million. The Brazilian has 2 goals and 3 assists in the league this season. When comparing their goals, it is worth noting that the strikers have played vastly differing minutes so far this Premier League season. This makes their goals per 90 minutes perhaps a fairer stat for comparisons between the strikers. At 0.47 goals per 90, both Gyokeres and Sesko have the exact same record, whilst Isak remains without a goal in the Premier League this season. Across the rest of the new strikers, Woltemade leads the way in goals per 90, with Ekitike also ranking highly. However, we are still only 7 matches into the Premier League season, and so the goals scored come from a relatively small sample size. Comparing the players' shots per 90 minutes can allow us to see how often the strikers are getting into goal-scoring positions with their new teams. Here we see that Isak is much closer to both Gyokeres and Sesko in shots per 90, and it is likely that with more match sharpness, the goals will soon come for Liverpool's new number 9. Although he is still yet to hit the target in the Premier League this season. Across all of the new strikers, we can see that Sesko is first for shots per 90, with Woltemade ranking much lower, despite leading for goals per 90. This trend is also replicated in their shots on target per 90. So who has performed best in the Premier League so far? Ekitike or Woltemade would be the simplest answers, with the pair both arriving from the Bundesliga and hitting the ground running in the Premier League. Gyokeres has matched their goal tally, but the Arsenal man has played significantly more minutes up to now. Pedro has also started well, and the Brazilian is a different kind of forward to the others, as demonstrated by his 3 assists. Although he has drawn criticism in the early days of his United career, the numbers suggest that Sesko could end up outscoring the other strikers signed this summer. And despite costing the most money, Isak has been the most underperforming attacking recruit so far. Improvements will be expected from the Swede soon, especially when he is fully fit. Ultimately, despite all of the money invested in them, there is one man that none of the new strikers are close to. Erling Haaland has been the gold standard for Premier League forwards in recent years, and he leads the way once again, blowing all of the new recruits out of the water in just about every metric. It remains to be seen whether any of the forwards signed this summer will be able to close the gap on Haaland as the season goes on. So which of the Premier League's new strikers will have the best season? Let us know what you think in the comments below.